If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Still Got Game, episode 524. Still Got Game's official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Chris Selden 007 Selden.
And I am Brian Shadow Emmerich.
Two of these guys are not like the other. The other one said his name like he was Eeyore.
Yeah, there's some comments made last week that,
I'm sure we'll get to those soon enough.
I just don't want to make everybody happy and laugh. So
oh, bother.
Poor Eeyore. Yep. But anyway, all three of us are back this week. Selden is not blowing us off again. So, why don't we just jump right in the show? And that way, Selden can get back to moping.
He can defend himself.
Yes. If you're in chat right now, you want us to discuss something, drop it in chat, and we'll try to work on it. Otherwise, we'll just hop into the mailbag for feedback and questions from our last episode. And remember, if you want to leave us a voicemail, please, goddammit, leave us one. It will cut you off after a minute. Pulp Redux 1337 comments. Thanks for using my comment. It was even funnier since Selden 007 wasn't on the show last week to defend himself.
Yeah, because I can't defend myself because it just ends up being worse.
I don't recall
I'm done with that.
It must be hard to do that voice over and over and over. I don't remember what the exact comment was, but it was like something like Selden's the butt of jokes or something like that. So yeah, it's not intentional, Selden.
It's mostly deserved, though. So.
Yeah, I'd pretty much say so. And then every day before we do the show, Shadow texts me and he's like, let's gang up on Selden and make him the butt of our jokes. So, sorry. I said that out loud. Ixnay on the Elden say. Yes, yeah. So, yes, thank you, Pulp Redux, for your second comment now. Glad we could use two in a row. I'm pretty sure Selden's not as glad as we are, but...
In 1337 D Smooth, in case you aren't aware, it's leet in gamerspeak.
Mm-hmm.
So
I am aware of gamerspeak, but thank you, Selden, for pointing that out to me. All right. Leaky Badger asks, why aren't you guys playing games right now? It seems like you're mostly watching things. Just because there aren't tons of new games doesn't mean you can't play things like, here's the list, guys: Minecraft, Fortnite, WoW, that's World of Warcraft for you, Selden, etc.
let me just clarify that I do play games. I do play a lot of games. Other people on the show may not play any games, but I definitely play games.
Maybe they don't count the games you play. Like, I'm pretty sure lots of those are barely games.
AAA titles this week.
This week, yes.
Yeah.
Way to qualify that, yes.
I don't have any problems. I don't have any problems finding games to play. The only reason I may not be playing games some weeks is just because I have so much other stuff going on. But if I have time, I have such a long list of games I need to get back and finish and start and buy and get off Game Pass, and it's crazy. I actually went through this past week and just made a list of all the things on all the three main systems that I have yet to finish, start, whatever. And it's like 50 games long.
Are they things you already own?
Yeah, they're things I own and or are on Game Pass, or games with gold or whatever. It's just stuff that I want to eventually beat. And this is not even talking about all the retro systems that I have. This is just like the main three current. So,
there's a question for you. So if there's something on Game Pass that you've been ignoring, and then you see that email come out that says leaving Game Pass this month, do you instantly hop on that and try to bang it out?
It depends how long it is. Usually, like for instance, it's not gonna happen. But say like Hellblade 2 was gonna be, it's gonna be off Game Pass next month or something. That game's only like 8 hours long, so I would immediately jump on that and finish it because I don't want to pay for it. I just want to finish it and move on because it. Not that I don't want to quote move on. It's just that it's short, so I'll definitely jump on. If it's a game that's like, I'm gonna start this, it's gonna be 100 hours. I probably won't start it. I know me. So
All right. Fair
yeah,
enough. Fair enough.
yeah. But I am playing things. We'll get to that later.
No. I haven't been lately, but we'll get to that later too. And
I know
Selden,
that
By
I don't think
lately,
any
you
of
mean like
us
3 years?
I don't think
game
any of us play like Minecraft, Fortnite, WoW, anything that's like a constant world type game. Really?
No, I did do like a brief relapse into WoW last year, and I played it for 6 months. Um, but it was like the same time sink it was the first time when like I would come home from work and then work eight
Yeah.
hours in WoW, and then I realized I had to give that up again. So yeah,
I think you just have to make a choice with that stuff where it's like, well, I can play this one game or I can play 50
lots of
games.
games. Yep, yep,
I can, because every minute spent there is a minute you're not playing something else. And
it's true.
it's not like you're going to, I mean, you'll make progress, but usually it's just busy work.
Yeah,
I used to
it's
play Destiny after I got home and it
no,
was
yeah,
just
no,
doing the daily challenges.
no. I used to get home
So
and from work, and then I'd hop in Destiny, and I would do what was the Selden? What was? Or you might know too. What was the raid where you were underground and it was dark, and then
it's
you
like, it was the first one, right?
no, it wasn't Vault of Glass. It was the next
Oh,
one. Um, and it's the one where like eventually you got to the point where you you got past that underground part and you had to run across the bridge and then you were up in the air and then you had to go over this chasm
the
to the
jumping
other side and there
puzzle.
was the two towers,
Oh,
whatever it was. I would get home from work and I would solo the first part of that, and then my
With the
kids,
screaming giant guy at the end of it, right?
yes, yeah, so my kids would get home from school and I would invite them in just before I ran over the bridge, and then I would solo my way across with the sword swing trick and get to the other side, and then I take down those two guys, and then they would come across and just collect all the loot, and I did that every day right after work. So yeah, it was fucked up.
yeah. And then
Yeah,
you go, okay, I'm gonna do this every day. What am I getting out of it in the long run?
yeah,
I mean,
nothing.
as long as you're enjoying yourself, then it's fine. But if you want to actually have a goal to actually play other games, you got to make a choice because there's
Yep,
only so many hours of the day. So
yep, I hear you.
different answer, different question, really. But
Yeah. All right, next up, Lady is Right comments. Did you folks know that there was a hiccup in your show last week? It sounded like you did, but it was still on there in the video version replays. Yeah, you know
I
why?
know I wasn't on.
Yes.
Is that the
No,
hiccup?
no,
Oh,
that was people. It was
well,
like
it was the
the Leonardo
no.
DiCaprio, well done, like that.
it was the reverse of what I thought it was. I thought he couldn't hear me, but I couldn't hear him.
Yes, yeah,
Nobody could hear him. They could only hear me, and I thought so. I was just kind of sitting there and not talking because I'm like, well, I'm not going to talk because there's no point. But really, I should have been talking, going, yeah,
yes, yes.
answering things. But I thought you were talking and answering stuff, so I just said, well,
No,
I'll just
so
sit here. It was like 5 minutes, so
yeah, so
apologies.
I for the audio version, I cut that portion out, and then we're like, oh, we're back. I can hear you. Blah blah
Oh,
blah.
cool,
But the video
nice,
versions, like, it's a real pain in
yeah.
the ass to edit video. So I just left that blank spot in there, and apparently, Lady is Right did not
Hey,
appreciate that. But
she watches the video
Yeah, I
and
mean, even
throws it
on
on.
YouTube, because then you have to take the whole video down and then re-upload the video into your hit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can't edit them
no, you
on the
can't
fly
edit
there.
on you
Yeah,
can,
yeah,
but it's a
Oh, you
pain in the
can?
ass to it. Yeah, that's
and
how I
especially long ones, it takes forever to
yeah, that's how I
do
cut
it.
off the the pre-show stuff. So the YouTube videos
Right.
always start with if you'd like some to that game, blah blah blah, and then they
And then it
end.
goes, "Are you ready?"
Yes, and then it's
For that
hitting
guy
his
that
voice.
doesn't go
Yes,
on
yeah,
the
and
podcast
then
anymore.
Derek G.
He's
Smooth Nolan and Joel Duda Rock Albert, and then it makes no sense at all. And yes, yeah, and then but the show ends when we all sign out, and then I say some witty thing or some not so witty thing. But the after show is never on the video services, so that always gets trimmed because that may be a controversial part of the show. Like we may say something there that we regret. Don't know, but especially when Selden goes
We'll
off on like
see.
his white supremacist rants and
Oh,
stuff.
tyrant. Oh, see, here we go.
All
Here we
right.
go.
Hey, look, are we doing the show
Here
yet?
we
I gotta
go.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice seeing you,
Uh,
Selden.
all right.
Thanks for having me,
Yeah.
guys.
He really,
See,
he
they
doesn't
do.
often do those. So
I never do.
people that are watching this know that, so that's what makes it funny. All right, and then last but certainly not least, Altius asks. There is a lot of industry speculation that when Call of Duty finally gets added to Game Pass, the rumored Black Ops 6 set in the Gulf War later this year, there will be a Game Pass price increase. How much more do you think people will absorb before canceling? Well, we
I
had a
don't think
price
this.
increase last year on Game Pass, if
Yeah.
you
I
remember.
thought they came out and said they definitely are not going to be price increasing, and Call of Duty
I
was
don't
going
see
to
it
be on Game
happening.
Pass.
I don't see it happening. It's one game, and people are already kind of upset with Microsoft about a lot of stuff. I don't see them doing it. If they did, it would be like, well, yeah, you'll get this game, but you're going to pay more. Well, then what's the point?
Then it's like I'm paying for the game. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
The
maybe you don't
only
even
way I
like
can,
that game.
yeah,
if
the
you went
only
up
thing I can see,
$5, then that in a year, that's the $60 the game costs.
the only thing I can see with Microsoft doing with Call of Duty is because Game Pass never includes the DLC for the most part.
Yeah.
So
true.
you may see a change in how the game is delivered. You may get like a base game, and then they hold back portions of it as DLC for later on. That you would have to end up paying, out of pocket for the add-on material. So,
Yeah.
which Call of Duty traditionally hasn't done any like campaigns,
No, but
DLC
this
type
is a
stuff.
Black Ops game that would have like this is the games they usually do like the Jason and Freddy and all that shit too. Like it's
I don't play these games. So really?
yeah,
Wow.
they always have like 4 crazy horror characters, or they'll put like the Terminator
Wow.
in or some shit.
They still do zombies?
Yeah, that's the mode it's in.
This,
Yes, yeah.
this version
Okay.
was zombies. Last version was DMZ.
So yeah, we'll see.
Okay.
But I don't think you're going to see a price increase as we all of us agreed. And it's still a good value for the money. I'm like, even if they raise it, a couple bucks, if you're using Game Pass and you're playing at least 2 or 3 titles every couple months that you wouldn't have picked up, I mean, at the end of the year, it's going to be value added. So I mean,
Can someone tell me what I'm actually paying right now for Ultimate?
So Ultimate monthly is $16.99. I know this because I just checked.
Okay.
I don't know how much you pay per year. You probably get a slight discount if you pay yearly. I'm not sure.
I don't.
I
Ultimate,
usually
they
get,
don't let you pay yearly. It's always they've
Okay,
switched
so
to
it's
this.
$16.99.
Yeah, they switched to this
but
monthly thing.
I
So, yeah.
I usually go through like CD keys or something like that.
Yeah,
and I
that's how
buy
I get
the
mine too. But
I
you
buy the
can only
Ultimate
buy 3 months
6
at a time.
months. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So you have to
usually
buy
find a really
4.
good deal on those. So
You buy 4 3-month things, and yes, yep.
That's true. Yeah, I do that. I'm good. I'm paid up till like January still, I think. So
I think I'm good to
Um,
2026 at this point.
I think
maxed
they
it out
made it
as
so
much
that
you
you
could ever.
couldn't max. Yeah, I think they cut down the amount you could max. Because I used to go like
Yes,
3 years out. I would just keep buying gold.
yeah,
It'd be
and then
way
doing the
far
trick,
out.
and yes, yeah.
I did the trick, I think, the once you could do it, but I mean, I used to just buy gold keys when it was just gold, and they would
Okay.
just be good for 3 years and always 3 years ahead.
Yeah,
And
no,
then they
hit
changed that, I think.
kept doing that trick with the Game Pass over and over and over. He would let his Game Pass expire and then load up
Oh,
on gold that same day and then sign up, get his $1 thing, and eventually they
and
caught on to that loophole. So yeah.
does your gold, like, not that it matters to probably you, but where it says like how many years you had gold, does it lap? Does it go back to zero then
No,
if
no, it's
you?
still like even if you because I've at one point I had and it was while I was playing World of Warcraft like many years ago, and I didn't realize that the credit card I had attached to uh
Oh,
it had the
expired.
expiration date change, and then when I went
Yeah,
back to the Xbox and I was like, "What the fuck don't I have live?" And then I
yeah.
got that back, and but I still like it was when they
It's
were
like
giving out the
10
free
years or
Xboxes to
something.
the 20-year people or whatever,
Right.
and like I must have missed it by like 5 days because I didn't get one of those. But that's the
Oh,
5 days that my credit card had expired, and then I realized that I needed to. It was just a pure coincidence that I came back and was like, "What the fuck?" But it had only been expired 5 days, but that was enough to cancel me, so I didn't get my free Xbox.
tisk
Yep,
tisk. That
yep,
sucks.
yep.
Yeah, I don't
So-
think that they're going to raise the price,
No.
personally.
I think we're all in agreement. Altius, if you're right, we'll all apologize. But
But what his question was how much more do you think people will absorb before canceling? What do you think? Like, do you think 69.9 is like the max? Do you think people pay 20 bucks a month?
$20 a month is $240 a year. That's
That's what they're
like
paying for
buying,
Netflix.
but
That's
that's
what they're
like
paying for
buying
Netflix.
4 games.
Yeah.
Well, now not even 4 games,
But with Netflix, you're not even getting anything at all, like permanent. I mean, with this wouldn't be
but
permanent either.
Netflix
But like,
also has a lot more than 100 and something things. Netflix has like
that's true.
tens of thousands of things you can watch.
That's true. And you
They
can only
have
really
games.
share it with 2 boxes, I guess, for the
yes, for this, yeah.
Ultimate.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
with Ultimate, Tiff and I share, and then the boys share.
Games do cost a lot more than movies and TV shows, though. So I don't know.
I know it's
I think that
tough to compare apples to oranges. Yeah,
I think for Ultimate, I think people might pay 20. I think for the regular whatever, I think maybe 12. I don't know what it is now, but it's probably
I
not
have
more
no
much
idea,
more than
yeah.
10. I would say maybe 12 would be tops, but they might pay 20 for Ultimate. I don't think much more than that.
Yeah, I think we're getting close to people's limit, at least right now.
Yeah.
I don't think they can exceed $20. I think $20 would be the max. I think
No, yeah.
once it starts getting over $20, then you'll see a significant drop off.
Especially when it started at 10 and people are like, oh, I can get Game Pass, and it's like buying 2 games a year, which is what I buy. Like that was people's mindset. How many people buy 4 games a year? I don't know. Shadow buys all of them and then doesn't play them. Seldom plays all the free play games.
Occasional buy.
You're not wrong, but
so yeah, I guess we'll see. But I think 20 is
trying,
probably.
man.
I think we can all agree 20 is probably the breaking point for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think for Ultimate, I think 20 is the max.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see in the next week, because this is kind of when all the summer events start happening. So, but yeah, we'll let you know, Altius. If you're right, we owe you a beer. If we're right, you owe us 3 beers. I don't even drink beer, so yeah. You owe us a sponsorship.
Another question.
Yeah. Or 2 questions, yes. Oh.
2 questions.
Yep. All right. Well, if any of you have great feedback like these guys or questions, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooledplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over to what we're playing? Selden, what have you been playing this week?
Well, I've been playing a lot of games recently. I know I wasn't on last show, but I wanted to catch up on a couple things. Hellblade 2, I've been playing a lot of. Enjoying that game, but I can only play it in short bursts because I don't want it to end too quickly. And also, I'm playing it immersive. I'm playing with the headphones on, and those voices swirling around in your head it starts mentally draining you.
Yeah, that has the binaural audio, right?
Yeah.
It's really freaking so well done.
Nice.
It really feels like people are talking in the back of your head as you're playing through the game and stuff like that. It's swirling around you, and it's very immersive. And if you're playing it without headphones, I recommend switching now and get the headphones on, because it really changes up the game and the level of how it is portrayed. It's a great story. The fighting mechanics are kind of wonky, but I wasn't looking for fighting mechanics in the game. I was looking for the story in the game, so it works for me. I'm really enjoying it.
Nice.
Other than that, playing a little bit of Diablo, going in there whenever I want to do some looting and stuff like that. So I'll just go in and play some Diablo every now and then. Dip back into Destiny 2.
What the fuck?
I'm seriously thinking I might buy the next the final DLC that's coming out. And it's great getting back into that game. It's a fun shooter. It really is. There's so much to do now because we've been gone for so long. So much stuff has dropped since then. And like there's whole packs that I have bought that I might have to buy, like the 30th anniversary edition, so that I can have all the DLC.
Does it feel like you need to like have all the stuff to catch up on, or can you just jump into the new stuff and just
You can
ignore
just
that?
jump in and do new stuff, but there's so much new content that it's just like even the stuff that you used to play, you don't come across it as often as the new content that's out there. So there's a lot of stuff out there. So.
Are you
I heard
reading?
something about. Oh,
No,
Oh,
I haven't
sorry.
got back up to the rating point yet. I haven't got my light level back up to where it needs to be at this point. I'm still grinding that up a little bit. So
I heard that people were getting upset because they decided that they're going to make the old weapons get upgraded, and people didn't have them because they trashed them, and now they're making them upgradable or something, and they're pissed off.
Oh, and
Is
they
that
said
Yeah,
they couldn't get them back either because
yeah, they can't get them back.
yeah, they once they were off the server, they were
Yeah.
lost forever. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
but once again, it's just like I'm still grinding my way up. So I'm not looking for god rules on anything yet at this point or anything like that. So it's just fun getting back and playing a little Destiny. So
Sure.
other than that, a couple games off of Game Pass that I've been playing. Humanity, it's a very Lemmings-like game that just dropped the other day.
Is it really like Lemmings?
Yeah, it's like the original Lemmings.
Because
where-
Lemmings was great back in like the
Yeah.
1980s. Yeah,
this is like
awesome.
like the original Lemmings. You're a dog. You're like a ghost dog or whatever, and it's all humans.
Doesn't sound like Lemmings at all.
You're a dog? No, you're a ghost
No,
dog.
ghost
actually.
dog. Yes.
Well, it's humans are flooding through a portal, and the way I feel it's like they're trying to transcend from death to heaven or whatever, and you have to get them from the portal that they enter the map to the platform which raises them up to heaven. And you're a dog that you
this
place
game
down.
has like a certain religious overtones laid on top of it.
Has an angle there. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like the dog directs the hordes of people that are walking through the door, and they're falling off cliffs left and right and getting killed and stuff like that. But it's if you like the original Lemmings game where it was a mass of people moving a single line and you have to direct them to where they need to go.
Nice.
And
And that's
moving
on
out
Game
to-
Pass?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Moving Out 2 just dropped on Game Pass as well. That's it's probably
Sequel
better.
to Moving Out? Yes.
Yeah, it's it's that fun little like
Go
any of
pick
the
something up,
cooking,
move it to
the
the
cooking
truck.
shows. It's
Yeah,
the cooking games and stuff like that where it's better to play with a partner on a couch where you try to little moving van.
Right.
Yeah, Tiff and I played that at PAX East this year, and that was fun.
So it's fun, yeah, and you try to avoid breaking things, or you purposely try to break things. And
Oh,
shit
yeah.
like that, so it's
And
a
then
lot
you
of
Yeah,
get
that's like the
stressed.
only game you played, wasn't it?
Maybe. And you get stressed with your spouse, and you're like, "Why aren't you getting over here?"
You get
And,
that
or like
ghost
when you
turd
both have to
bullet.
carry like a sofa, and you're like, "Why are you going that way? No, come this way."
This is why we're not on The Amazing Race.
Yes,
You
exactly.
gotta get it through the door. Don't throw it through the window.
Mhm.
So
Nice.
other than that, the other game that I've been playing a lot of is Manor Lords. That the game's in a weird spot right now because it's like a low-level civilization game, but they're working some things out, trying to balance the economy and stuff like that. So it's changing constantly. I've kind of fallen off that game right now.
So you're saying the game sucks, basically?
Yeah, no, it's decent, but it's
Decent.
It doesn't
is not
have
the
the
kind of game you
longevity
want to
of-
play. You don't
it
want to
doesn't have
say
the
like, "Oh,
longevity of a civilization. Type
that's
of
like
game.
being like, oh, my wife's mediocre." Like you don't want to say
Well,
that. That's
I mean, Derek, if he said, "Oh, this is the best game I've ever played," you still probably
okay.
wouldn't
We
play
wouldn't
it.
believe him either. Yes, yeah, no, that's true.
You
Yes,
wouldn't. You wouldn't play it.
No,
You'd just be
no,
like, "Oh,
certainly.
you'd be like, is it on Switch? Because I definitely play that."
I
Other
don't
than
even
that-
know where our
Right.
switches are, to be honest. Yeah, yeah.
The only other game to round out this that I wanted to mention was on my phone. Squad Busters is the new game that's coming from Supercell, the guys from Clash Clans and Clash Royale. It's their new game that they dropped. It's getting a lot of buzz going on right now. I think it's
Who's the
currently
buzz? Who's giving this game buzz?
Well, it's probably not you because currently I think it's only on Android because it's an early release. But it's got all the classic characters from all the Clash games. Plus, it's more PvP than
Are
it
there
is
characters
PvP.
in the Clash games?
Oh yeah, there's characters in the Clash.
He's like, hell yeah!
You got the Bowler, you got the Skeleton King.
Oh my
Archer.
god. Okay.
Archer.
My son was seeing that that Humanity game was on Game Pass. He's like, "That looks interesting," and for some reason I had that on my, I think I had it on my wish list because I remember I saw that on there and I was like, "Oh, I guess maybe I wanted to play that." So
It's
maybe
probably been on PC for years.
maybe it
just
looks
finally got
cool,
over
I
to
don't
Game
know.
Pass.
And
Yeah.
that's actually the one thing that someone said today that I'm actually interested in maybe playing. So, because I loved Lemmings, but yeah, definitely don't love Squad Busters. No.
I used to play Lemmings on my buddy's PC. We didn't have a computer back in the day, and it was like 1980, 88, 89 ish, and I played the hell out of that.
You can say
Yeah, I
shit
mean,
on the
Great.
show. You don't have to
No, I know.
check your swing. Yeah, okay.
I know.
You're like,
I
I
don't know.
played the
I was,
hell out of that.
you know, I just been around my kids too much today, and I was just editing myself. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
Why was I doing
nothing
that?
will ever touch the original Lemmings game for the originality of the type of game that it was. But this one's in that same vein of that Lemmings type of game. So I think
Nice.
you'd enjoy it. It's a good puzzler, you know.
I may download that right after the show.
You can actually play it on cloud. I think it's cloud available right now. You can probably just pick up your phone and log right into it.
Yeah, I'm not really into the cloud stuff. I still like to download the game and play it for real. But yeah,
For real. I
No.
played oh crap. What's the Psychonauts 2? I played that completely through the cloud and it worked perfectly. It wasn't an online game,
yeah. So
but
that's
as a
where
single
things
player
start
game,
to falter. Is
yeah, but as a single player game, I was really surprised how well it worked. But that was back
And that one's pretty
2 years
graphic
ago.
intense too for a single player game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I played it fully through the cloud just to see if I could do it, and I did, and it had no issues at all. So
nice.
yeah.
Fair enough.
How about you, Shadow? What have you been playing?
I've also been playing Hellblade 2, which I've liked a lot so far. I just played the first one last year, I think, for the first time.
Oh wow.
So it's pretty recent for me. And so I knew what to expect.
Mhm.
And it's definitely, I get the criticisms of like, well, some of it's people saying, "Oh, it's just a walking simulator," which in some parts it is. Some parts you're just pressing
It's a
forward and
streaming
she's just moving. You don't know if you're actually controlling it or if it's a cutscene. But because of that, you go, oh, wait, the graphics on this are amazing because I can't tell whether it's a cutscene or gameplay because it's all the same and it looks so good. The combat's fine, like Selden said. It's not the best. It's basically QTEs the whole time,
Yeah, I
pretty
think that
much.
the reason looking at the game, playing the game, I want it to be like the battles more Souls like, and it
Yeah,
lends like the belief that you're going to be Souls like in a battle
yeah,
scene, but it's just
It's
it's
not.
like
it's
the
not.
dragon layers type of game where it's like you just have to hit the button at the right time to dodge.
Yeah,
It's not
it's
like intensive
definitely,
patterns or anything like that.
yeah,
Press B
it's
to win.
definitely more
Yeah,
like
yeah.
sort of, but it's like, okay, you get the pattern. Okay, he's doing the small swing, then the big swing, then the really big swing, and you got to dodge, and then you hit him with the small swing, and then big swing, and then you get staggered, and then you can hit him again. And then you hit your mirror, which like flashes and slows down time, and then you can hit him a bunch of times, and then they disintegrate, and then it switches to the next guy. It's all like a big line of guys waiting to come at you, but they're all from all sides. It's like this
Like that scene in
bubble of
Airplane when
people.
everyone's coming to smack the girl
Sure,
that's freaking out. Yeah, yeah, okay.
sure, Derek. Just
You
like
don't
that.
know that scene from
I
Airplane?
know that scene. Yes, I
Okay,
know that
yeah,
scene.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
No, it's just like a big bubble of guys, but it's not like you can't see everybody at once. You see one guy at a time. You kill him, then the camera switches, and then it goes to the next guy. And you kill him, and then finally
Can
the
you
scene's like,
toggle
okay, now we're
guys?
done. I don't think so. I think it's just you're fighting the one person, then you move to the next one, the next one. And so
That
I've
it's
never
not
had two
super.
enemies at one time. So.
I
yeah,
don't believe so.
that's a
No,
weird
it's
dynamic. Yeah.
it's very much it's story, it's graphics, it's just
Audio.
kind of getting through. It's it's like an experience, and I think people are getting upset that it's not like a regular video game that they think of, but it's definitely like go into it realizing it's an experience, and you're just kind of going through a world and you're experiencing a story, and it's not the hardest game. The original one had the weird conceit where they acted as though it was a roguelike, where, well, not even that. It was a permadeath,
No,
where they
okay,
said
yeah.
if you die too many times, you're not coming back. And so everyone thought if you did die too many times that your save would get deleted, but they didn't. It didn't end up actually being true. So
Yeah, okay.
people are a little upset about that in the first one. This one doesn't have that conceit, so
Mm. Yeah,
it's
and I know
whatever.
this
But
one's set in like Iceland or some real world place versus the first one that was like a made up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because the first one's its own place, and then this is you're on a ship, and then you get in a shipwreck, and you're trying to find all of your crew, and they're getting killed by the people that are on the place that it gets shipwrecked, and so it's more about instead of your own journey, it's your journey to save your crew, which so far nobody has been saved. I played for 3 hours ish, 3 to 4. I'm probably about halfway through. It's maybe supposed to be like 8 hours long, which is fine for me. And yeah, like Selden said, I'm kind of spacing it out so
So
I
you don't
don't
burn
blow
through
through
it.
it too
Yeah, yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
so there's that. Yeah. Go
the
ahead.
collectibles are pretty easy, but it's
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and play a couple chapters, but at least they're linear, and you'll be able to figure out what chapter you get to load up to go to
Yeah,
each
well, what's nice about
collectibles.
this one is that with the first one, you had to do it all the way through, and if you missed one, you had to replay the entire game to get that.
Okay.
This
Yeah,
one has chapter select, and you can just go back and pick them up. And this one has it has one other kind of uh collectible that is this giant heads that you can find that are part of rock formations, and you kind of visually find them and you scan them, and then it tells you a little story. And the other ones are just these posts that you find out different places, and then you focus on them and it tells you another story. So it's all just like story and lore. And so
yeah. The rock ones are
um
actually the transition that they use, the graphics. That's a pretty impressive how they
yeah.
because that rock just really melts away and like, did anything really change? Oh yeah, it did change. Type thing. So
Yeah.
they did a good
And there's a
job with
little
some.
tree, and then the tree tells you a story. It's cool. Also, I've been playing the System Shock remake a little bit. I never played the original, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I sort of wandered around a little bit just to kind of get a feel for it, see the graphics, and see how it plays. And it plays kind of like a BioShock, and so far I think I'm gonna really like it. I got a little bit lost, so I'll go back and find my way and continue that pretty soon. And
Nice.
Is this the
but
Kickstarter
yeah.
one that you got? That you
Yeah,
got the code for
yeah.
Finally,
that didn't
finally
take
got.
Finally, yeah, I did. I got it. Like I think after we talked or something that night, I got it or something like super late. Because I had to go on the backer kit and find it there, and there's a whole thing, but I got it. So, and the achievements weren't working. It logged in, and then it said there's some sort of error, and you could play offline. So I tried to play offline for a little bit, and then I got through the first like half hour of the game, and then I put it down the next day. I got it back on, and the achievements were working, but there was something I missed at the beginning, so I just restarted it.
Yeah,
Um, so whatever, because I'm an
yeah,
achievement guy. So,
yeah.
and also
Oh
I
no.
played a little more God of War, still getting through that. God of War Ragnarok, and I will eventually beat that, I promise. So
Nice.
that's all I got. How about you, Derek?
This week I didn't play shit. It's been review season at work, so I've been writing reviews and doing my due diligence, and didn't even really watch that much this week either. Like I've just been making sure that I'm treating all my employees the best possible. So, but it sounds like tomorrow's my last day of this part of our review cycle. I have 3 1-on-1s tomorrow, and then probably gonna jump into this humanity game if it really is like Lemmings and Selden isn't lying to us. So yeah.
Well, I'm gonna channel my inner hit and like you're on a gaming podcast.
It's my gaming podcast. I
I
know.
mean, let's see.
Yeah.
Leaky Badger says, "Why aren't you playing games, Derek?"
Yeah, well, now I just explained it. I have a lot of work
Yeah,
going on. So
that's
yes, yeah,
why.
yeah, yes, yeah,
Yes, and going on
yeah.
cruises and who knows what,
Yeah,
all over the
I,
place.
I, I get into the office before 7:30 in the morning, and I'm there all day, and yeah, it's long days. But I am ironically going on a cruise like in 2 weeks. So yes, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I was just kidding, but also,
I
yeah.
know, I know. Your timing was impeccable. So yes, yeah. All right, on that. Why don't we hop on over to new releases? First new release out this week is F1 24, out for the Xbox, the PlayStation, the PC. This is an F1 racing game. It's not a Forza game. It's not a Forza Horizon game. It's literally F1. Now, sure, F1 was fun when it was in Las Vegas. Like, I actually watched it on TV. That may be the first F1 race that I've watched besides when Tony Hawk jumped, not Tony Hawk, Tony Stark jumped in Monaco in Iron Man 2. So yeah, no, not my kind of game.
Just to
anyone's
go on the
kind of
record,
game.
the F1 race in Las Vegas was a fucking shit show. If you watch racing, it was so bad.
It
You
was
got to
just
watch
cool to see
you
it
got to
in the
watch one of the
location.
cool European ones in it.
Yeah.
South American ones.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Well,
that's just a
Selden's
sidebar.
obviously an F1 fan, so you're planning on playing this game then?
No, that doesn't.
No, okay. Just watching, not
I
playing.
my racing games are very arcadey that I like. The Forza Horizon, I don't do motor. I'll do motorsports for a little bit, but it's not something like I can't get into all the. I need to put 18-degree wedge in here, and I got to under pressure this like
Yeah.
3.1 pounds.
Yeah.
I don't get that. I want my
tuning.
arcade. I want my pole position type. You just get in and drive it and slide all over the place and finish the race. That's what.
Wow, they should make a new pole position.
Rolling start.
Virtual racing. Yeah, I'm not into the fancy racers. I'm definitely more Forza Horizon or Burnout or Mario Kart. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah.
The other
I think
new
I
release.
miss those old racing games where, like, if you didn't finish the lap or you didn't finish the leg within 35 seconds and you had that little countdown, your race was over. It was
Daytona, USA, man. You got to get those checkpoints. Checkpoint.
Daytona. Yeah.
modern racing games are missing that big time.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways, I digress.
The other new release out this week is Killer Clowns from Outer Space, the game, out for the Xbox, the PlayStation, and the PC. This movie was a fucked up part of the 80s. Did you guys see this in the 80s?
Yeah.
I just saw it recently for the first time. It is fucked up.
Yeah,
I
it
know.
is fucked up. Yes, yeah. But, yeah.
Who asked for this game?
I don't know. There's always been like this cult mentality behind Killer Clowns from Outer Space, so it only made sense that there would be a game. But in 2024, like maybe 40 years ago,
you missed the window by a good 30 years on getting this game out.
I think that was. I want to say that was like 89 or 88 or something, which is, or maybe I'm wrong, but.
Alexa,
Somewhere
what
around
year
there.
did Killer Clowns from Outer Space come out?
The film Killer Clowns from Outer Space was released on May 27, 1988.
88. So
I was right.
No. Yeah, that's
but that's freaking
30,
a long time ago. 36 years.
6 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm watching the trailer real quick on Steam. I mean, the graphics are pretty good.
It's an asymmetrical survival shooter game. Yeah. So there's obviously only a certain amount of clowns, and then there's a certain amount of people, but it's asymmetrical. It's an interesting choice. But we've seen this formula have success, like most recently with the Friday the 13th game. We've seen it with I'm trying to think of what a lot of these asymmetrical shooters have been pretty popular. So, but yeah, everybody loved the shit out of that Friday the 13th game. So I think they're just kind of trying to pull the same formula and take a legacy IP and bring it to the modern
Clowns
day.
will always have that special place in horror games that everybody's freaked out by. And the clowns in Killer Clowns from Outer Space are even freakier than your normal scary clowns.
They don't have normal proportions. It's not like a guy in a clown suit. It's a freaky thing. Yes, yeah. They're real. Yeah, these guys are real.
They're real.
So yeah.
They did Evil Dead the same way they did Friday.
Oh, that's right.
Friday
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
13th.
trying to think of. Yep.
Which people are liking those, I think. So I played the Friday the 13th. I have not played the Evil Dead yet. I think it's on Game Pass though. So give that a shot. Or it's been on PlayStation Plus or something.
Okay. All right. Well, on that, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? If you're in chat right now, you want us to talk about some news, drop it in chat. Otherwise, we're just going to roll with what we have. And I'll start off with NVIDIA's latest AI feature is in-game help. Now, this sounds lame, but it's actually not. So you can actually, part of what this new tool that NVIDIA's released is you can be like, oh, well, are my settings optimized? And you'll be like, no, you have these displays and they're capable of this, and you should turn on this and you should turn off this and you should turn on unlimited frame rate because you have it set to 60 frames a second. So it really helps you optimize your game settings and your video card settings to maximize performance and quality from the games you already have. A lot of people buy stuff and they just buy a PC and they know it's capable of playing games in a certain way, but they don't really understand things like frame rate and resolution and this and that. And so I think this is a nice little thing for people that don't fully understand the hardware they bought. Like, a lot of people don't build PCs like we do. They buy a pre-canned PC and then they fire up a game and they're like, well, I'll turn this up and this but they don't know what they're doing. So this is it's a nice twist, and it looks at the settings of the game and it offers all these solutions and explains why it's offering them to you. So yeah, and it's probably using the GPU of the card when you're not playing the game to do all the AI stuff, because everyone knows that's why Nvidia's stock went up from like 200 something bucks to $1,000 in the last 6 months or whatever it is. So
Yeah, I had a neighbor who is not, I mean, he's sort of a gamer, but not much. I overheard him saying, "Oh yeah, I just put a bunch of sold off stock and put everything into Nvidia." Like,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Catch it at the high point. Let's go.
Yeah, right.
I have a bunch of Nvidia stock myself, so yeah.
Yeah, you just never know what's gonna increase like that.
My dad was a broker, so I get some tips. He's retired
Oh.
now, but yeah, so he pointed me in the right direction before I knew it was the right direction. So
You're talking about the stock market. That the guy that created the craze with GameStop has, over the last couple months, popped up occasionally to put a video or a statement out. GameStop takes off like crazy, but then it crashes within a couple days.
Yeah,
It,
of course.
it can't catch the footing, but like today, like
that
even
guy
today,
that used to short it started shorting it again. So yeah.
Yeah, you gotta hodl, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. Isn't this sort of just like an optimizer, like you said? I mean, I don't know why you need AI for that. It can just there should be
Well,
something that runs that just
because
tells you this needs to go on.
optimizers don't normally know the capabilities of your displays. They know what your hardware in the PC is capable of, but
Really?
they're not.
'Cause I feel like CEC now, like it can connect to it. It should be able to like
Pull down the
HDCP. It should be able to
Yeah,
figure out what it's connected
Yeah,
to.
maybe it can, but it couldn't for the longest time. But maybe that's the differentiator, or maybe it's also capable of offering things like, well, if you added 8 more gigs of RAM, you could do this, or you could go to
Just
this
like
thing.
recommendations.
Yeah.
Like all these people are doing this. You should do that.
Yeah.
you just
Okay.
give me your credit card number and your social security card. I'll
Well,
go
because
ahead and order it for you.
Nvidia, they
They're all
every
jumping
once in
off a
while,
bridge.
Yes, like lemmings. Yes.
Yeah.
Full circle. Yes,
There
yes.
we
You
go.
see what I did there?
Yeah.
But Nvidia does those hardware surveys like once every 3 or 4 months, so they know what like this mass audience of people are doing for settings and what hardware they have, and even just that for a recommendation engine would just the data set they have, and AI could pull into that, and it's no different than a large language model, except it's like a large hardware model where they know all this hardware everyone has, they know what the optimal settings are, they know who's running the optimal settings and what they are, and they can push those recommendations. It's not for folks that know what they're doing, it's for folks that don't. So believe me, anything that they can do to help people to maximize their, like, imagine if you had like some awesome display and you were just running 4K 60 when you could be running 4K uncapped. Like, it's
Yep. Cool.
all right. Next story.
Hogwarts Legacy Summer Update drops June 6th. It includes photo mode. A bunch of items that people have been asking for are supposed to be included in this. They haven't really released a lot of information of what's in or what is fully capable within this June update. It's kind of the first update we've had
In a long
ever,
time. Yeah.
or at least in a long time,
Yeah.
where they're adding additional content. It's been quite a while since this game was hot. Like I know I need to go back and finish a bunch of stuff in it. This may draw me back in to play a little
Did you
bit
not
more.
finish the game?
No, I didn't finish the game. Something else came. Some other game came up, and I jumped over to it. But what do you guys think? I mean, is it too long into the cycle of this game for some kind of big update to come out? I'm like, especially coming up against some of the summer blockbusters that are going to be supposedly coming out soon. So.
Yeah, it is kind of weird timing. Like I know Tiff finished this game, but and some of the stuff they're adding doesn't seem like something you would want to go back and do. Like I know they're
No.
adding like Harry Potter's glasses and some other dumb shit to this, but
A lot of it's cosmetics.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm interested in, really, I mean, I beat the game and 100% it pretty much like a month after it came out, and then I haven't played it since, really. But there's the Haunted Hogsmeade shop quest that you couldn't get on Xbox. It was only a PlayStation exclusive.
Okay.
And I don't know if, I mean, it shows it there as being in the update, but I swore that it was like a year exclusive and it's been out. Has it been out only a year?
I think it's only been about a year. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe it
Yeah.
is just coming out. So it was this one question. You could only do it if you had a PlayStation. So any
Okay.
Xbox users that want to play that, that's coming out. So that's good. And I might go back and play that. But otherwise, it's all finished, and I'm not going to go back for just cosmetics. So.
Yeah, I'll let Tiff know, and then we'll see what she thinks of it. But all right, next story.
Halo Infinite finally adds a great feature from MCC. They added they added a great feature from MCC, which is the match composer, and it lets you decide what you want to. You can basically have a list of things you want to check mark that you want to look for in a search for a game, and you can just check those, and then it'll go through and search for only those, which is great. I love that MCC lets you really customize it. Sometimes it can be hard to find matches if you get too granular, but you can just kind of go down and down with your amount of check marks, and hopefully you can find a match with exactly what you want. Sounds like it's going to be just social, not ranked. But otherwise, yeah, it says since Match Composer will not be in ranked, the following modes will be expanded: Ranked Arena, Ranked Slayer, Ranked Doubles, and Ranked Tactical. So looks
Nice.
like those who are liking Infinite Online play will get a bunch of stuff coming soon. I know that they had said they're kind of scaling back on things for Halo Infinite Online. They weren't doing the seasons anymore. They were just doing
Yep.
kind of small stuff here and there, which this must be one of those kind of small updates. But yeah, I'm cool with that as long as they keep kind of slowly putting out new maps. That's great. I mean, I haven't been playing much recently, but I still think that Infinite's might be the best playing multiplayer of all of them. Honestly, it plays really well. The problem for me was the maps. There weren't enough maps.
So
they
for me, the
fixed
problem
that.
was the maps as well as these modes where you couldn't just pick a mode because
But
I don't like the soft core objective modes. Like I like Slayer, not big team battle. Like I'm very particular about the modes I want to play, and now that it seems like you can flip
yeah,
these dials and switches and get exactly what you want, maybe that's something that'll bring me back. Maybe that's something that'll bring my good buddy Mr. GBMS back. Because that was really the thing is you go and they only had these weird ass playlists where you would get like one game of what you wanted, and then you'd have 3 games of something you didn't, and then you get one game of what you wanted, and then maybe you go 7 games and not get something you wanted. So, and that was part of the beauty of the MCC. We used to play the MCC all the time. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna say you could probably go back in our archives and pull up us because I'm pretty sure all of us bitched about this when Infinite came out that you couldn't whittle down the playlist rotations that we're going through because that really was a big thing that was in earlier Halos and stuff like that.
And then just went away. Yeah,
they didn't give that option to you anymore. Like, nope, you have to play the rotation.
Yep.
The one thing I still miss from, and it will never come back, was just open lobbies where it was just, you jump in, you sit there, until it gets enough people, everyone's just in there, open mics, everyone just talking. It could be shitty, depending on the amount of the people that were in there, but it was still kind of cool. And you could mute them if you wanted to. You just, okay, that guy's being an asshole. Unmute him, mute them. Okay, I'm good now. And then we're all just kind of talking, and you could just party up when you got back out and just keep playing with those same people.
Yeah, if you liked someone you played with, you just keep let's roll. Yeah,
I don't think you can do that. I'm pretty sure you can't do that anymore.
No,
which I thought,
well, at least
I think is weird.
not up until now, but
you never go back to a lobby. It's always just you just start over. You go back to your choosing what you want to do again, which is sort of a bummer.
That's part of muting guys back then was when sometime months later, all of a sudden they come back in your lobby and they're already muted still. And you're like,
they're permanently muted as a person. It's not just in the lobby. It's great.
Those were the days.
Those are the days.
All right. Next story. Summer Games Showcases. What to watch and when. So we talked about this a little earlier, that this week is the big start to all of the announcement season. So just to give you a quick, I'm going to do everything in Eastern time, and I'm going to tell you all of the various events that are coming out, and you can do your own calculation if you're like in Central time, like who's there. I know that. That's why I said that.
Asshole.
Yes. So, starting this Thursday, June 6th, Guerrilla Collective is doing their event at 1 p.m. IGN Live is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Accessibility Summer Showcase, which is accessible games, that is Friday, June 7th at 11 a.m. Jeff Keighley's Summer Games Fest is Friday, June 7th at 5 p.m. Eastern. So you can get home, you're sitting down for dinner on Friday, boom, there's Jeff Keighley annoying the shit out of you. Then there's Day of the Devs, that's right after Summer Games Fest. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. And then Devolver Direct from Devolver Digital, theirs is at 8 p.m. that night. Then going to Saturday, June 8th, Future of Play Direct is at 11 a.m. Wholesome Direct is at 12 p.m., but none of us really like wholesome games. The Latin American Game Showcase is at 1 p.m. The Women-Led Games Showcase is at 2:30 p.m. And then the Future Games Summer Showcase is at 3 p.m. And then last but not least, on Sunday, we have the Xbox Games Showcase at 1 p.m., the PC Gaming Show at 4 p.m., and Ubisoft Forward at 12. Oh, no, that's Monday. And Ubisoft Forward on Monday at 12 p.m. So between Thursday and Monday, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 things you can possibly watch. These things were a little easier when there was this little thing called E3. Since it's not around anymore, now you have to watch 14 different streams at various times of the day. And now you're all putting in the time that journalists used to save you back in the day. So,
well, you can save yourself and just catch the highlights later on too if you want. On Monday or something, there'll be somebody who has a whole
IGN will probably have those, and
just tune in every Monday night at 8 p.m. to the Blaze Still Got Game podcast. We'll talk about it.
That's true.
Yep. So Selden's going to watch all these, so you don't have to. Yep.
So next weekend, my daughter has recitals on Saturday and Sunday, and Sunday will be like right after the Xbox thing. Maybe we'll see. But her birthday's on Mondays too, so I won't be here on Monday if we have something Monday. Unfortunately, I'm doing her thing probably.
Actually, no, that's probably good that we don't do a show next week. Well, because I leave on Thursday for that next Thursday for my cruise. So
don't tell people things and they'll be like, but it's Thursday. Why can't you do it on Monday?
because
We know why.
there's days
We
and
know.
days and days of editing. Like, if I didn't have to edit stuff, then it could just be a show. But like now that
Well, we
do
could talk about
video,
it the next week.
like if we ever go back to not doing video and it's just a podcast, then it's pretty easy. That can be done in like a single night. It's all the video tweaking and everything else. But then again, Hit told me that this is what people do now, so that's why we do video. But
Hmm.
but
Well, I won't. Either way, I won't be here on Monday. If we have something, if we don't, we will have something next week. We will talk about all the stuff that happened at Bo E3.
exactly, and like they tell you, Shadow, you got a face for radio. So yeah.
Thanks, Derek.
Just making fun of his red hair, are you?
I just tried to share the
Kind
my
of shiny today. It's
my
bugging me.
original thought was to go to Selden, and then I felt bad because Selden has already been picked
Yes.
on by listeners
gotta
and
pick
other
on me.
people, so I redirected. Yes, yeah.
There you go. That's cool. I can take it.
I could have said I have a face for radio, but I don't. I have a face for radio, so yeah. All right, next story.
PS5 users can expect to save big on PSVR 2 during PlayStation's Days of Play sale. Recently, there's been a splattering of PlayStation 5 deals going $50 off. Looks like they're going to be adding the PSVR 2 to some of these sales coming up. Don't expect huge savings, but it looks like maybe $100.
Yeah,
$100 off is a pretty good deal. But once again, this is I think it's just the PlayStation VR 2, so you still have to have a PlayStation 5 to be able to use it. But,
well, you can't use the original one on PS5, can you? Don't you have to have the 2?
No,
yeah,
you have to have
the
the two.
VR 2. So.
But he's
Yeah,
saying
so-
that you already have to have a PlayStation 5. But because he
you have to
doesn't
have
have
PlayStation
one.
5.
Yeah.
But I know that they're trying to open it up to the Steam library, but I think you still have to run that through your PlayStation to be able to play that.
Yeah.
So you're looking at $450 for the PlayStation VR 2. They also have a bundle which includes the Horizon Call of the Mountain bundle, which is going to be $500 listed. So,
$100
Sony
off
really
is a
hasn't.
good deal.
Yeah, but Sony really hasn't made a huge impact into the VR space with their VR headset.
Have
Still
they
not great games coming
Well-
out for it at this point. It's still kind of slow, and
Can you
not
use it
where
on
they wanted it
PC
to
then?
be. I don't think. So
No,
the sale
you're not
is
using on PC yet. No.
Okay.
But what Selden's saying is that eventually the Steam library stuff is going to come. But like, I think it's the first one I've used that has the eye tracking, which is it's cool and it feels like future tech where you can just like or I move my head, but you don't have to move your head. You can just look at things with your eyes, and it tracks and it shows exactly where you're looking, and that part is really cool. Like I haven't had that in a VR headset before, so
It's like the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah,
That's how you click on stuff. You just look at it.
yeah, but for like
For
$1,000 less.
$100,
Yes,
yes,
yeah, you can
yes.
save $1,000.
Yes. Cool.
yeah. So yeah, currently the PS5 Slims are down to $450. The PS5 Slims digital only is down to $400. So I mean, they're
You still don't
definitely
have a
giving
PS5,
some size,
right? Yet, some
Yeah, PS5. I do not have one in my house.
in your house. Do you have one in your car?
He keeps
No,
it in the
I
backyard.
bought a couple. I just don't have them.
They've gone off to college. No, I don't.
But yeah, they also have a lot of deals on a lot of the games. Looks like around $10 to $30 off on games. So if you're looking to pick up a game for the PlayStation 5, it might be a good time to look at their sales.
Cool.
Yeah. When does this go until Selden?
I actually do not know. It looks like now until June
to
12th.
help you. Yes.
June 12th, I think the sale is going to,
June.
because by the time this show probably drops, it'll probably be over.
Yeah.
Oh, burn.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it runs through June 12th, so you'll have plenty of time after the time that this show drops.
Yeah. The show will drop probably on Sunday. It's just it's a pain in the ass. Like It'd be nice if I had a producer. If anyone wants to volunteer to produce the show for free, um, shoot me an email, podcast@toolplay.com, 773-527-2961. Tell me your qualifications and you'll get some credit. Like, hell, you can fucking add like a post roll, like director, this, that, like all the credits like a movie. You can put your name in all of them. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Just
Don't you just go on YouTube? Didn't you say you just like chop off the beginning and the end and
that's normally what I do. Yeah.
yeah.
You should just
Oh.
ask a chat GPT or something to edit the show for you. Use AI.
Sure, that would go well. Yeah. What could go wrong there? Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
AI
maybe.
writes such good articles that
Yeah.
people don't have to backtrack.
Yeah.
All
We'll
right.
see.
Next story.
Sony's Astrobot is getting it the Mario-like adventure it deserves. The supersized adventure arrives September 6th. Those of you who own a PS5 remember this game that came as a pack-in for free, basically.
One of the
with
best
little
games. Yeah.
the Astrobot guy who it took full use of that controller.
Yep.
Like every little bit of the controller it used, and it was all about the history of the PlayStation and really cool, really great platformer, fun. I never fully beat it because I got to the boss and it was like this T-Rex guy. I could not beat him. So I
Really?
just well, I didn't try a lot. I didn't try for a long time, but I tried a few times. I was like, it's okay. I don't need to beat him. I just wanted to see the rest of it. So I went through and I just kind of got what I could, but it was great.
I
And
thought it
I'm
was
glad that
fantastic too. Yeah.
I'm glad that this is happening, and I will definitely pick this up. My son's been wanting to try the PS5, and I only have the one, and it's downstairs hooked to the big screen. I have an Xbox and a Switch upstairs, and that's what he usually plays. So when that comes out, I'll either have him play down here, or he'll want to play it. So we'll check it out. It's check out the trailer on YouTube. It's you can pre-order it starting June 7th. I don't know if it's going to be a full priced game. I would imagine it won't be a $70 game, but who knows?
That would be my thought too. But like, if it's as good as the first game, I would have paid that for it. It was as good as any platformer. Like it was like a Crash Bandicoot or a Mario or any of those platformers or Rayman.
Yeah.
Like it was as good as any of those. I know
It was-
Rayman's a deep pull, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was definitely it was a great way to learn the controller and how it worked and all the
like
things
you
it could
said, it
do.
did everything. You did the
Yeah.
blowing on
Yeah.
the controller. It used the controller speakers. It used
And
the
has the
haptics.
tension,
It used the
tension for the triggers and
It
it was cool.
literally was like, this is what this thing's capable of, and
Yeah.
it wasn't
No one
just like a
uses it.
tutorial. It was fun. Yeah.
I find that in God of War, they use the tension triggers for certain things, but other than that, not that many games
Yeah.
used all the things you can use, which is kind of always the case, right?
Yeah.
Because I know that the Xbox I think the Xbox One had the pulse triggers where you could like you're driving a car, you could feel it like revving through your fingers, but no other games used that stuff because they had a
It was
program
only
for it.
first
And most
party
of this,
games. Yeah.
yeah, because everything else was just it's going to be in all these different systems. We're not going to deal with that, so they just don't do it.
I mean, from a developer's perspective, you don't want to invest a lot of your time and effort into designing for a specific controller that Sony makes. Like, because aftermarket controllers are all over the place, and a lot more people don't like the PlayStation controller. They might be picking up a different controller because they're more comfortable using somebody else's controller that isn't going to have all those haptic feedbacks and speakers in the controllers and stuff like that. So would they limit themselves by designing a game using all the functionality of the controller?
I know what you're saying, but with the exception of the stick position, the PlayStation controller may be one of the finest controllers I've ever used.
The PS5 controller is amazing.
It just has the sticks in that shit position that they've stuck with all these years, but that controller is fucking baller.
But I get what you're saying. So.
Yeah.
But yes, that controller is really great. Like the PS4 controller, I was much happier with than the PS3, but the PS5 is like perfect, except for those controller or the stick issues, which are the stick positions. But I get used to it. after I play for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd rather have them offset just because I'm used to it that way because I play
Yeah.
mostly Xbox. But man, it just feels solid. Like this
It
thing is
no one
you
can
can't
even
see
see
it,
it.
but you can't see it. But it's super
Shadow's
solid.
invisible controller.
Gotta hold
It's
it right in
super
front of your
solid.
face, right in front of your body.
It's right here. I put it right in front of my face. Then you can see my face.
Oh,
Oh,
see,
there it
there
is.
we go. See,
Yeah,
there it is. Yes.
it's freaking awesome. And it's like solid in your hands and it's wide and big. Like most of the controllers that I hold are too close together. I have giant hands and it just feels like they I do.
Look at
I
my
have
giant
I had giant hands. And it's hard to hold some because they're so small, but this is like perfect. So
No, and
that,
and
anyway,
all
that
of a
was
sudden, sometimes it's
digress,
making
but
sounds. Sometimes it's
yeah.
vibrating. Sometimes it's giving you force feedback.
And
Sometimes,
what you can
yeah,
use it as a mic. You can
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just it's good.
It really
But
is a
yeah,
solid
that's
ass controller. Like I play with my this guy here, but
yeah.
um
Is that a
yeah, like
scuff or is that the
that's a
Xbox?
scuff, yeah, because I broke too many
Oh,
Xbox
that's
and
right. You
Elite
break all your
controllers. Yeah,
Xbox controllers, and I've never
yeah,
broke one.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's because you don't have strong
Rage
hands.
issues.
I don't throw them
Pussy.
across the room,
Pussy. I don't throw them
when I
across the room
lose.
either. No, I sit in this chair in front of all my displays and I play here and I break the bumper
Shoot,
like
Eric.
every time. It's always the bumper that breaks. And it's because I do bumper jumper, I don't know. But the
Yeah, it could
bumper
be.
always breaks and then it gets to the point where I have to hit the bumper like 4 or 5 times to actually jump.
I will say so. I have I have a blue and a white one of the
I like
Xbox
how you now
controllers.
know to put it right in front of your
I put it in
face.
front of my face. So I got a blue and a white one of the Xbox controllers. They're pretty close to being original models, and they have this thing where if you hold down the trigger too hard for too long, it sticks
Oh.
just slightly, and you let it go, and it has like a
It
stickiness when you
doesn't
let it
come
go.
back. Yeah.
It's because it has these little pads inside that just slowly degrade over time, and you have to remove them and put new ones in, which I'll actually probably do soon because now I'm pulling everything apart. Because that's making it really annoying to use that. But yeah, the PS5 controller is just freaking
That thing is
good.
fucking dope. Yeah. No, I agree.
But yeah, that'll be a great way to play that too. I'm sure they'll have all sorts of stuff they had in the original game and this game, and it'll be great. So looking forward to that.
Right.
Next story.
Next story. Twitch removes every member of its safety advisory council. Now,
Nothing
this
can go
story
wrong.
this story may sound insane. It may sound like putting the inmates in charge of the asylum. It may sound like what could go wrong, like Shadow said. This is fucking dumb. So they had some employees that worked on this council that were independent, and they decided, how to make Twitch better for everyone and safer and this and that. Now, instead, they've laid off their entire safety council, and they're going to go to streamers to contribute to safety. And everyone knows that streamers are always, safety's top of mind for them. Sultan, I was trying to be serious about this, but you broke my character. Yeah, this is dumb as shit, right? Like, this is not like.
So you're gonna have your Doctor Disrespect clones and your Amaranth.
Yes,
clones
these are the people that are going
to now monitor safety and protocols of the Twitch platform.
This is why companies have separate departments for all of this kind of stuff, and to make sure that there's congruence and this and that with all these different groups, and to make sure that there's everybody is taken care of and treated right. Now we've gotten rid of that group on Twitch and we're putting it back on streamers on the service. I think this is nuts, but maybe that's just me.
No, it's not just you.
The autonomous form of government of Twitch will take care of itself and they'll be fine, I'm sure.
You sound so sure. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Selden sounds like he's talking through a tin can for me. I don't know if it's just you.
No, he sounded that way the whole show. I'm pretty sure he's not even using a microphone. So yeah.
I'm not making fun of you, Selden.
No, it's
His microphone's probably too far away
I
from
know
his
that Derek
head.
has like the fans running and stuff, so you like have that noise canceling thing. I thought maybe
Yeah,
that
that's
was what was happening.
it's like 1,000,000 degrees in this room right now, and I do have a fan that's blowing, so the noise canceling is probably
You're
cutting out.
perfectly audible. I was just making sure it wasn't just me because last week with all our fun issues. Thank you, listener, for pointing that out.
Yeah, that was so sweet. Thanks. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah,
yourself.
yeah.
Whoever that
Oh
was.
no, no, no,
No. I always go there.
no, no, no.
I go there eventually. Who was that?
Oh,
Lady
he's
is
going back
right.
to shit.
No, you know
Yeah,
what? Lady is
she
wrong.
was right. No,
No, lady is wrong. Yep.
she, whoa,
Yeah.
damn.
Well, in
Yeah.
her defense, I also mentioned it in the Discord. They're like, "Hey, by the way, the video's
Well,
really fun."
like if I called you Selden is wrong, it would be like a normal Tuesday. Like, right?
What's that next story? Okay.
Next
story.
story.
Redfall's final update arrives with offline mode as Arcane Austin devs praise their departing colleagues. I guess this is a good final shot to get the game out as single player so that people will still be able to play the game after they're gone, because it's not far behind that Microsoft will be shutting the servers down.
Shut servers down. Yep.
So it is good that they're going to try to keep their game alive a little bit longer, so they can see it fade slowly off into the distance as the 3 players that are currently playing point to 2 to 1.
Wow. You went there, huh?
Yeah. The game was a shit show. I had such high hopes for the game.
I did too. Yeah.
And I really wanted to like it, and it was just unplayable. I know that they put out 4 patches. This will be the 4th and final patch that comes out. Maybe it's playable at this time. Maybe I'll go back and try, but it was just such a disappointment.
Yeah, you jumped in with Mr. GMS and I one night, right?
Maybe.
Yeah.
I know
the game was so forgettable. Yes, I understand why you don't recall this, but he and I tried to push through this, and it was rough.
I think I jumped in on launch day or launch night with some friends, and it was just really rough.
Like the
And
clipping issues and all that kind of stuff. Yes,
clipping and the like things that wouldn't be loading in from further away, like texture pop in and far away you couldn't really see. Yeah. And I mean that was launch night, so okay. I get it. And then that happens sometimes. But then later on people were like, yeah, it's still really bad. Like, okay. Well, I'm not gonna go back then. I don't know why I kind of I also put this in with Back for Blood, which is not the same thing, but it's more of like a
you should know better.
Well, it's that one can just completely fall off a cliff too, but not because it was having problems, just because people didn't like it, I guess. I don't know. I tried that one too, but it just sucks that things like this, where you're playing with your friends, you're doing sort of like a Left 4 Dead type game. This wasn't Left 4 Dead, but similar.
It should have been that same kind of team mentality.
Yeah. And they just don't ever go anywhere anymore. I mean, I don't know if that time's just passed or the games just aren't any good when they make them, but it's kind of bums me out.
No, we played this for probably about 6 weeks, and it was at that point we were just like, we can't do this anymore.
You were probably MLG Pro status at that point because everybody else had quit by then.
No, we just kept hoping that they were going to patch this shit out, and then it was like, oh, there's a new patch coming today, and then you would clip through a door and you'd be able to shoot the guy on the other side or whatever, and it was terrible. Yeah.
Kind of a side question here with regard to games like that and Back for Blood and everything. Do you think that maybe these days there's just too many games out to play at one time, that nothing like that is ever really going to take hold, where people are like, oh, we're going to meet up like every other night, or this night of the week is our, like, say it's Left 4 Dead. There's a Left 4 Dead night. Like, people used to do that. But these days, like, or Halo night or whatever, I don't think people do that as much anymore. Maybe there are people who just play those games and just play Halo, or just play, obviously there's Fortnite and all that stuff, but
I think there's still room for those games. That's kind of how Mr. GBM and us and I, like, how we play. And we did the same thing for Dead Island 2 and those sort of games. And it's that one night a week where you're like, this night we're definitely playing this, and we're going to start at 7:30 and we're going to play until
Question mark.
midnight or 1:30
Oh.
or whatever. Yeah, yeah. And we did that every week. But all of these games are launching with problems, which
Yeah.
makes it less fun to do that. Like, I feel like games used to come out solid. Like any of those 4-person games where you each pick like a character type and you go through, they were for years and years. Those games were super solid and you could have a good time, and you put in your 5, 6, 7 hours that night, and then you're excited for the next week. And these games, it was more like you struggled through your 5, 6, 7 hours, and then you're like, I hope next week it's fixed. And then it wouldn't be fixed. And then you would do the same thing over and over and over until you got sick of it. And that's kind of what happened with this game. That's what happened with Dead Island 2. Like, Dead Island 1, like, Tiff and GBMS and I played the shit out of that every single week for months and months because it was a well-done game. And then Dead Island 2 came out and it was just not the same thing. And the same thing with Redfall. Actually, Redfall, it's not the same thing. Redfall was probably one of the worst games I've ever seen when it came out. The clipping issues alone were like things that like a comp sci student at a college would have figured out how to not have this clipping. And literally either you couldn't do stuff because you were clipped in, or you could do weird shit because you clipped through. And then you could shoot stuff on the other side of a door, on the other side of a wall. And then every once in a while, like, you kill like one of these boss bad guys, and then all of a sudden you leave the room and come back and he's back. And you're like, oh, that seems fair. Yeah, yeah. Or something would clip and the person couldn't get through, and you'd have to kill the game and, spawn back in and do it that way. So yeah, I don't know if it's sloppy coding, if this is like post-pandemic, people forgot how to code. I just don't know. But yeah, these games are not the same.
Just to go back to what you were saying, Shadow, is like a lot of the social aspect of like the games that we've played over the last 20 years or whatever, like the Halos and the Call of Duties. They were a lot more skill based back in the day for the social aspects of the game, like on clan nights or whatever. Like you would be playing higher skilled games. Now a lot of these Discord groups or groups of friends that are still playing in the clan type environment, they're playing like the Among Us. They're playing some just Fortnite or something like that. Lower skilled, lower graphic intense games because they're more doing it for the social aspect. Like it would be more your buddies getting together to play, cards and not going to Atlantic City and playing poker type thing. So it's like, what's the stupid game where you run in like the massive 100 start and you racing to the finish line?
That's Fall Guys.
Fall Guys. I mean, that's a perfect example of where that clan structure is right now, because they're more into having fun, just chatting as they're playing the game.
Fall Guys, like when GBMS and I are done gaming, we're like, oh, let's go to Fall Guys, and we just shoot the shit for the next hour or two, because you don't need to use your skills. You can just.
Right. Whereas back in the day, it was like if it was clan night, it was Halo, and everybody was busting their ass. They were still having a great time. It was still very social, but it was more intense type of gameplay than it is now for the social type of aspect.
Yeah. No, I hear you. That is not an untrue statement. So, all right, last story.
Take-Two will either sell or shut down Private Division. The publishing label is reportedly at risk of vanishing entirely. The developer, okay. So this team, do you know what this?
This is like their indie game label that's part of Take-Two.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I knew that Kerbal Space Program 2 developer.
Yeah, that Kerbal thing people love.
Yeah.
So
they loved the first one. 2, I don't think they'll like quite as much.
Well, we saw this at PAX East this year too, Tiff and I, and we had an appointment, and there was like the longest line behind us to get in, and they capped the line for this thing. So there's obviously people that are huge fans of the first one that wanted to be part of this second one. But yeah, I feel bad for them. But yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
don't
just
know.
it's the whole trend of the industry. It's like so many small studios are being bought up or shut down or downsized, and it's just it's a bad time to be in the industry, big time. And unfortunately, this is just another one of the victims of how the gaming world is going. So
Says that it's claimed Take-Two is hoping to sell private division or individual IPs, but the company is reportedly prepared to shut down the business if it can't find a buyer. In the meantime, a small team has been tasked with supporting previously announced titles, including No Rest for the Wicked, which
Oh,
looks cool.
wow.
I think that's out on PC. I can't
Maybe?
remember.
I can't remember. either.
Tales of the Shire and Untitled Game Freak project. No Rest for the Wicked looked really cool, and it's not out yet on Xbox, but I think it
I
might
don't
be out on
think so.
PC.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that one. Hopefully that is going to get some support because it looked really good. Yeah, that's it. They have declined for comments when IGN asked them for a comment. So
Yeah. No, it's sad. It's always sad when studios close down, but especially studios that have like a decent IP that they've built up and then the studio just kind of bails on them. But this is like we talked about last week. This is the same thing I tell my friends. Like, if you want a job where you code, don't go to a gaming company. Go to a real company and code for a real company, because basically game development is like a gig economy. It's not a real job. Like, you're expendable. They'll bring people in, they'll get a game out, they'll shut things down, they'll let people go, and then they'll rehire the same people at at a lower rate to do the next game. So yeah,
yeah,
if you want to do computer science, like I before I became a manager, I coded for 20 something years, but I never would have worked for a gaming company. I always went to real companies in the industry that my specialty was more traditional layer 2 layer 3 networking, work for companies that did networking versus did games, and I was pretty well taken care of, and there were never like annual layoffs to clear the workforce and then rehire everyone back. That's something unique to the game industry that they've gotten used to. And eventually this has to be like an antitrust thing or something. Like, I don't know what fixes it, but this is not the way you run a business. And eventually someone's got to step in and be like, you can't do this. That's not normal.
it's funny you mentioned the whole firing, rehiring, or letting go and rehiring thing. It's not just this industry because my sister is a teacher, and
Mm.
when she was younger, she worked at a school that like every summer they would pink slip all the new teachers and
Oh,
rehire
wow.
them so they were like a first year and they couldn't get tenure. Because if they got tenure, they couldn't let them go.
They
You know how
couldn't
tenure works.
let
So
them go. Yeah.
so they didn't build towards their tenure because they were always quote new,
New.
which I
Yeah.
always thought was bullshit, which is kind of the whole I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a similar situation, but it
Oh,
just
definitely. Yeah, no, that
stuff
sounds
like that
fucked up
sucks,
too.
man.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But this industry is definitely known for it. Like, my
Yeah,
sister-in-law is a teacher, and she hasn't been in that situation, but
that's good.
I can see why that would suck. uh, but
I don't know if it
this
happens much anymore, but yeah.
yeah, this industry is known for it. So yeah, if you're coming up, like, all right, Tiff always says that you're not our audience, but if you are a college student graduating with a comp sci degree and you love games, then play games. But don't go into the gaming industry. Go into any other comp sci. Well, don't go to like a grocery store and work on their IT. Go to a real networking company or a real software company and write software for them. It is a far better job, way better job security, and you're not like a seasonal commodity for them. So
Go to
um,
Google and fix Google.
yeah, just our 2 cents. So,
Yeah.
All right. On that, if you have stories you want us to talk about next week, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@toolplay.com or comment on this episode's thread in the Tool Play homepage. Why am I losing my voice? Sorry. Sponsors. Remember, by supporting your sponsors, you help support Still Got Game. If we had them, we pimp them, but we don't, so we won't. So give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@toolplay.com. Twitter us up. You can find everything Toolplayer did at twitter.com/toolplay. You can find everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. Facebook the podcast, facebook.com/tooltoplay. We also have our YouTube channel that we pimp every single week. That's youtube.com/tooltoplay. That's where you can find all of our archive video content. Sullivan, you have any idea what they might want to watch there?
Absolutely everything. Go through the whole catalog.
That's a safe bet. That was well done. Good deflection. Yeah, so go there, watch all of our video content, and if you find anything weird, just let us know. Please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. If you got an extra 5 seconds, just write something nice. Like, hey, look, Shadow's hair looks less red tonight. Or, hey, look, Sultan has more hair tonight. Or, D-smooth. Just whatever you want to write. Just any of those things.
Speaking of things.
We have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/still_got_game. That's one of the many places we broadcast live each and every week. So go there, follow us,
Each
help
and
us
every.
get our well, yeah. Each and every third week we're live there. Also, if you do write a review in iTunes, I'm going to flip back on this, and we will feature your iTunes review in the show. So if you want to spend time to write a review, we will read your entire review. We'll say your name. You'll be like an internet celebrity, like sort of like halfway between us and Ryan Reynolds, like somewhere in that range. So yeah, definitely do that. We have a Discord channel. That's okay.
It'll be like the penis mightier says.
Now we're mixing in the Jeopardy again now. Nice,
Yeah.
nice, yeah. We have a Discord channel. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. That's discord.me/stillgotgame. We'll talk to you all day long. Some of us more than others. Definitely not Selden. He's like the new D Smooth. So you'll have to talk to Shadow or Electrify. I'm probably not going to respond to you. I just don't give a shit. But Selden sometimes gives a shit.
We'll give all the shits. Well, don't worry about
Yes,
it. He's
yeah,
not even there.
yeah.
We'll give all the shits.
Shadow's giving all the shits.
I'll give all the shits. And so will Yeon. No, that's not true.
All right. So what do you guys have pimped? Selden, what do you got this week?
I don't got much. You can check out all my socials at linktree/Selden007. You can get there. You can find all the links to all my socials and anything I'm doing, anything I'm playing, what I'm doing. So check it out there.
Shadow?
I don't have anything particular really pimp except for it's June's Pride Month, and if you can do anything to help out friends and family and anybody LGBTQ plus, do it.
All right.
That's all I got.
Fair enough. I am at linktree/Derek Nolan. That's linktr.ee/Derek Nolan. My usual pimpings are American Cancer Society, Juvenile Diabetes Foundation. It is Pride Month, and one of my daughters is gay and engaged, and she's going to be getting married soon.
Congrats.
So, thanks.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah, so definitely throw some money to these anti-bigotry organizations and just let people love people. Yeah, that's what it boils down to. So,
Awesome.
So I want to remind you all, you can join us each and every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Shadow, you see, there's your drink moment.
I didn't say anything.
No, I know, but you're always waiting for it. At youtube.com/tooltoplay, Facebook.com/tool2play, Twitch.tv/still_got_game, X.com/tool2play, and Kick.com/stillgotgame. And on that, why don't we wrap this? We all got back, but now we're probably going to miss a week episode up. I'm Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
I am Brian Shadow Emmerich.
We switched Eeyores.